With the rise and availability of indie game development these days, there's come a problem that I think I need to talk about, and that's clones. Certain game genres have been flooded, oversaturated with certain game types that have just been cloned to death. There's so many versions of the same game. One game gets created, it becomes popular, and everyone wants to try and copy it and get their piece of the pie. So today we're going to talk about some of those clones and the genres that they come from and why it's become such a problem. All right, we're going to start with one of my favorite games and the many clones that have come from it, and that's Vampire Survivors. If you've been on this channel for any length of time, you know that I love Vampire Survivors, and I've played a lot of their clones. There's so many of them. And this is, I think, one of the genres that has blossomed in the last few years because I don't think there was really a game like Vampire Survivors until it existed. Now, maybe there is, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it was a brand new genre that was created. And since then, everybody's had tried to cash in on the Vampire Survivors craze. So it's a automatic weapon shooting, pick up gems, level up, roguelike, and that's roguelike in its own sense. It's just a whole nother beast. But it's one of those games where you just randomly level up and you get new powers and you try and get as far as you can in the game. So let's talk about all the games that have come from that. There's Time Survivors, Rogue Genesia. There's all the Survivors game. If it has Survivors in the title, it's going to be one of those games. You got Bone Razor minions. You got Fart Survivors. You got all these games that are the same thing. Now, what I can give credit to is that there are some that change up the formula a little bit. Some of them you have to aim your weapons a little more often or totally at all. Some of them add Dark Souls elements like rolling and health potions. Some of them add grids that you level up on instead of just randomly leveling up all the time. There's added features to these, but at the end of the day, they're just clones of Vampire Survivors. It's just kill things, pick up gems, level up, get new things, continue to level up over and over. There's a timer, there's a thing that kills you at the end. It's just a lot of the same. And this is only just the beginning. This is one of the more popular genres right now, I think, where clones are just getting out of hand. But it is one of many genres that have been taken over by clones. All right, so I'm going to talk about this briefly because there's a million videos. I've already made plenty of videos on this genre, but I feel like in this video it's worth talking about, and that's the horror game genre and mascot horror. With the creation of things like Five Nights at Freddy's, Poppy's Playtime, all these games that I've talked about in length have come a number of terribly built, underperforming, technically glitchy, just awful clones of mascot. It's like all I need to do is put a spooky creature and make it a mascot. You're in some haunted daycare, you're in a haunted play place or a haunted amusement park, and there's a big bad chasing you. Maybe sometimes there's multiple, but at the end of the day, it is literally, I want to make Five Nights at Freddy's, but you get to walk around, and that's it. And there's just so many, and I played so many on my channel to the point where it kind of ruined horror gaming for me. I don't really play horror games anymore. If I do, I try to avoid stuff like that because it's ruined that genre of horror for me. I enjoyed playing Five Nights at Freddy's and playing Poppy's Playtime. They're good. I enjoy them. I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but I do think there's something wrong with people. I mean, unfinished garbage comes out of this genre now because everybody wants to make the next Five Nights at Freddy's. Some of them are even teddy bears, but people just want to make like, oh, here's the next spooky mascot. I want movies and books and all these things, so I'm going to make this game, but I'm not going to give it any thought. The only thing that matters in their minds, I think, is it has to have a mascot, and that's it. Now, the gameplay, the game design, the world building, all that stuff falls to the wayside as long as they have a spooky monster to chase you. I'm not going to go any more on that because, again, and I'll link the video, maybe I can have it up there, where you can see me rant about mascot horror games because it irks me to no end. I brought up mascot horror not really to talk about it as much as to introduce the most recent horror game genre that has just become full of clones, and that's what I would call the Exit 8 genre of horror game. Exit 8 was a game where you walk down a hallway and certain things might happen called anomalies. That's a word that I hate using. It's overused enough as it is, but these games have been created just to loop you through one hallway. You try and spot the differences. It's like those I Spy books. Do people remember those? It was just like a book back in the day when I was growing up as a kid. It was a book that was just a picture with a bunch of junk on it, and you had to find specific things. It was like playing the game I Spy, but in book form. Exit 8 is like the I Spy of horror games. So you find the little things that are missing or different or changing or whatever, and if you do, you turn around and go back the other way, and after you do it a certain amount of times, you get to Exit 8 and you can escape. Now, from that have come all these clones that are the exact same premise. You're in a hallway of some sort, and you have to get through a certain amount of them to get to the end. The only problem with that is like Mascot Horror and like the Vampire Survivors, they're just trying to do the same thing, but not as well. It's like if you've ever seen that movie Multiplicity, where the guy gets cloned over and over, and as he gets cloned, they get dumber and dumber. That's kind of how this works. It's like Multiplicity. So now it's not so much about finite little details you have to find while walking through this hallway. It's, oh, you're going to walk through the hallway and a loud noise is going to play. Okay, turn around. Or you're going to walk down the hallway and there's a spooky creature at the end. All right, turn around. It's become so simplistic that the clones just aren't fun because it loses all, entertainment value when everything's just so noticeable. It's like, okay, I see that. It's very obvious. Okay, it's lost what made the original Exit 8 so fun. But people still enjoy them. They're huge. I'm going to play one on the channel tomorrow, just to kind of showcase that. And I might actually enjoy it a little bit, or I'd just play it for a little while. Anyways, I just think that the Exit 8 horror genre it's the next stuff. It's the next Mascot Horror, is the looping hallway where you're trying to escape genre of horror game. That's what's next. That's the next big thing. All right. The next genre of game that I find there's just way too many of is the simulator game. Now, this started way back in the day. I'd say probably about a decade or more ago with Hand Simulator, things like that, where you're simulating doing surgery or whatever. And it has now simplified into all kinds of simulators: gas station simulator, supermarket simulator, hairdresser simulator, sales simulator, garage simulator. It's like all these things that just they don't need a simulator game. They're all the same too. You start in an empty building, you build it up, you buy things, you sell things, you build, you buy. It's a repetitive cycle, and it's been dumbed down so much that I think it's just too simple. Now I played Supermarket Simulator, which I found fun. I tried to make it fun, but making jokes and stuff. The video didn't do too well. Whatever, maybe that says something about clones, but it's literally building, buy, sell, upgrade, buy, sell, upgrade over and over, and that's the point of the game. I think they've become so simplistic. Now look, I didn't go into many of the other genres that have too many clones: farming simulators, 4X strategy games, real-time strategy games, the things that are just easy to make that people can just pump out as quickly as they want. Dark Souls-like games, Castlevania-style games, Metroidvania-style games. There's all these genres that have just been oversaturated because of the ability to create these games so easily. And it shows. And look, take it from me. I know oversaturated markets. I make gaming videos on YouTube. This market has been oversaturated for 10 years. But I still enjoy doing it. But that's enough about clones. They piss me off. I don't know. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm just not going to play these style of games anymore, and that may mean that I don't get to upload daily. Oh no, cry me a river. But I'm just getting burnt out on all these genres that have just become clones of what were once great games or started as great games and are now just kind of garbage. Thank you for watching. I love you. I enjoy doing these green screen videos. If you enjoyed this one, you can check out the other ones over here. I'll put some more up. I try to remember. Sometimes I forget. But go check those out. I also upload gaming videos on the daily, Sunday through Friday, and Saturday are for these type videos. I appreciate you. I'm coming up on 1 year of daily uploading, which is pretty cool. I'll make something for that. But thank you for watching. I love you. Subscribe. Bye-bye.